Hey, Ira, how are you?
I'm good. Coach Norvell and then Coach Dillingham both have talked about kind of the start to practice last week, I guess early last week, in the sense that there seemed to be better energy and more excitement. You surprised by that at all after everything you guys have been through, or could you see that coming?
You know, I wasn't surprised. I really didn't know what to expect. Obviously, it becomes, challenging when week after week we had games that we expected to play that didn't get played. But I was really encouraged and I was really excited about the attitude and approach that the guys took last week. Especially, that Tuesday practice, we didn't even know who the next opponent would be, and the focus and the enthusiasm was there. And to me, that's a really positive sign that the guys on this team are bought into the vision and where Coach Norvell is trying to take this program.
Next will be Kurt Weiler from Tallahassee Democrat.
You talked a little bit about how really saw that change maybe even before you kind of knew what the future was going to hold as far as the rest of the season. But how much do you think, maybe does not knowing and then finding out and thinking your season might be over and knowing it's not kind of maybe give a greater appreciation for the little things like at practice, things like that, do you think?
Well, we talked about it the other day in our position meeting. I think if there's one takeaway from 2020, big picture wise for all of us, is you can't take anything for granted. All the things that we probably took, especially in sports, for granted, that whether it's March Madness or opening day of baseball or how a football season unfolds, now you got to really appreciate every opportunity you have because just like that, things can be taken away from you. There was a lot of hard work and a lot of investment on the part of these players this year, and it's been a challenging year. And then to have games, on the day of the game, end up being postponed or canceled or whatever word you want to use for it, it's hard. And I think nobody is taking these opportunities for granted anymore.
Next will be Aslan Vandy from Warchant.
Josh and J-Rob are two guys that could, I guess theoretically, try to advance their career next season. What have you seen from them, I guess, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, just in terms of what you talked about, not taking things for granted, and have they been able to, I guess, demonstrate some leadership to the younger guys?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, those are two guys that I've been really proud of how they've approached the last couple of weeks. There has been no hint of like a senior kind of slump or, kind of going through the senioritis of just getting through the last couple of days. As a matter of fact, especially in the case of J-Rob, I've seen a ramped up enthusiasm, a greater focus. Josh has always been a guy that has had a very much a workman-like attitude, and that's continued. But I've felt like with both of them, they've had really good weeks, and that is good leadership because everything they do is being modeled by the younger ends that are behind them. And, they're two of the older guys in the room. So every time that, they're being watched by all the young guys. So to see how they react is been great to see that they've had a very positive response.
Next will be Chris Nee from Knowles 247.
With regards to those two guys, have they had any conversations with you about coming back, leaving, anything of that sort about their future, what it holds after December?
Yeah, with both of them and really all of our, all the guys that I work with that are older guys, we've touched on it, but we've all agreed to make those determinations and have more in-depth discussion when the season concludes, whenever that is. Especially because the target's kind of been moving on how the season's gonna finish. So we just kind of agreed to let the last couple weeks play out, make the very best of them that we possibly can, and then have those really deeper discussions once the season comes to a conclusion.
We'll go back to Ira.
How did you guys, since last week there was not going to be a game, was there still special teams work, or do you kind of take a little time off and get back to it this week?
So last week, without a game plan, that was a fundamental focus for us on special teams. We still did it we still had our special teams work every day, but we went back to a little bit of like a fall camp mentality where it was more of a competitive drill focus, trying to get better at the fundamentals going into these last couple weeks, and really having an opportunity to focus some attention on some younger guys that may not get a lot of reps right now on special teams. So, it was kind of a good opportunity for us to step back and get back to some fundamental work that sometimes in a game plan week you don't have the same time to devote to.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.